In the year 2000, two men flew to Dallas to sell their small, struggling company. Their names were Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph. It was losing money. It mailed DVDs to people in red envelopes, and they were offering it to the biggest name in home entertainment for $50 million. The company was Netflix. The buyer they had in mind was Blockbuster. And in that meeting, Blockbuster's executives could barely keep from laughing. 10 years later, the company those two men refused to give up on would be worth hundreds of billions of dollars and would change how the entire world watches everything. Blockbuster would be bankrupt, but here's the part everyone gets wrong. Blockbuster didn't lose because it was slow or stupid or blind to the internet. Its own CEO saw exactly what was coming and fought to save it. This is a story about the people who see the future early and what it really takes to act on it. This is the story of how the most dominant company in its industry lost to a startup could have bought for pocket change, and the very human decisions that decided it. You'll meet the two founders who wouldn't quit, the CEO who tried to save a giant from itself, the profit engine that blinded a company, and the one act of courage that separated the winners from the losers. And at the end, the clear, transferable lesson you can take into whatever you're building. To understand the fall, you have to understand how big Blockbuster really was. At its peak, around 9,000 stores, billions in revenue, a blue and yellow ticket stub on practically every street corner in America. Friday night was Blockbuster. You walked the aisles, you picked a movie, you brought it back. It was the undisputed king of home entertainment. And kings rarely notice the thing that's about to kill them, because it's usually the same thing that made them rich. Here's where it gets interesting. A huge share of Blockbuster's profit didn't come from renting you movies. It came from you being late returning them. Late fees, by some accounts, around $800 million a year. Think about what that means. Blockbuster's most profitable product was your guilt. Its business model was quietly built on annoying its own customers, and the customers knew it. Ask anyone who was alive in 2003 what they remember about Blockbuster, and half of them will say the same two words: late fees. That is the most dangerous kind of revenue there is. Money that arrives because your customer is unhappy. It funds you today, and it recruits your executioner. Netflix aimed at exactly that wound. No stores, no due dates, no late fees. You paid one flat monthly price, kept the DVDs as long as you wanted, and a new one showed up when you mailed the last one back. It was slower and clunkier than a store, but it deleted the single most hated thing about renting a movie. Reed Hastings has told the story of founding Netflix after a $40 late fee on a copy of Apollo 13. Whether or not it happened exactly like that, the insight was the kind that builds empires. Find the one thing your giant competitor can never give up, and build your whole company around taking it away. Hastings and Randolph had none of Blockbuster's money and none of its stores. What they had was clarity about where the world was going, and the patience to look wrong for years while they waited for it. And now the part almost nobody remembers, and the man who deserves the credit. Blockbuster's CEO, John Antioco, saw the threat coming and refused to look away. In 2004, he launched Blockbuster Online, its own DVD by mail service. Then in 2006, something genuinely brilliant: total access. Rent online, return it in a store, and walk out with another movie in your hand right then. Netflix couldn't do that. Netflix had no stores. And it worked. Under Antioco, Blockbuster started pulling subscribers away from Netflix fast. For the first time, Netflix was scared. Its growth stalled. Internally, this was an emergency. The giant had finally used the one weapon the startup could never match: 9,000 physical stores as the front end of an online service. Blockbuster, the supposed dinosaur, led by a CEO who genuinely understood what was happening, had built a better mousetrap. It was beating Netflix at its own game. So why isn't Blockbuster worth $200 billion today? Because Antioco's plan cost money, and it meant killing the golden goose. Total access was expensive to run, and the no-late fee promise gutted that $800 million profit engine. Antioco understood the trade and had the courage to make it. Spend now, bleed the late fees, win the future. But the board, pushed hard by activist investor Carl Icahn, who'd won a proxy fight for seats, saw a leader torching profits to chase a startup. The relationship curdled, and in 2007, over a dispute that came down partly to his bonus, the one man who saw it clearly was pushed out. His successor did the responsible thing. He pulled back the spending on total access. He brought back the fees. He protected the profit engine, the exact thing that was killing the company. The one leader with the vision to save Blockbuster was gone, and the company chose the past over the future. Netflix exhaled and started building the thing that would end the argument forever. Meanwhile, Reed Hastings made the bravest decision in the whole story. In 2007, Netflix launched streaming and deliberately set out to destroy its own profitable DVD business before anyone else could. That business was the thing that had gotten them this far. Hastings chose to eat it anyway. That courage is the whole difference. Blockbuster protected what made it rich. Hastings burned it down to build what came next. One of those companies still exists. Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy in 2010. Netflix went on to rewrite the entire entertainment industry. And the company two men once tried to sell for $50 million became one of the most valuable on Earth. So here's the play. The people who change industries aren't the ones with the most money or the biggest lead. They are the ones who see clearly and then have the courage to act on it, even when it costs them. Reed Hastings saw the future and was willing to burn his own success to reach it. John Antioco saw it too and fought for it against everyone telling him to protect the easy money. One won and one lost, but they teach the same lesson. Your most profitable revenue stream is your biggest blind spot, and vision without the courage to act on it changes nothing. Blockbuster saw the future. It even built it. What it couldn't do was let go of the $800 million. It had to reach the $200 billion it could have built. So the real question for a company, or for you, was never whether you can see what's coming. It's whether you have the courage to burn the boat and go. The people who do are the ones we remember.